Every year, thousands of people go missing in remote and haunted locations. Some vanish without a trace, never to be seen again. Would you dare to visit the most haunted place on Earth? In today's video, we'll explore the top 10 scariest places you definitely don't want to visit alone. These aren't just places with spooky stories, but locations that are dangerous, with histories of supernatural occurrences, treacherous terrains, and the risk of encountering far worse than just a ghost. Whether you're a thrill seeker or just someone who enjoys a good scare from the safety of your home, make sure you stay until the end to hear about the most terrifying spot on this list. Number 10. The Aokigahara Forest, Japan. Location: Fuji, Japan. Dubbed the Sea of Trees, Aokigahara is as stunning as it is sinister. Nestled at the base of Mount Fuji, this dense forest is notorious for being one of the most common suicide sites in the world. But what makes it truly terrifying is not just the dark history. It's the unsettling stillness. No wind passes through the tightly packed trees, and the forest floor is composed of volcanic rock, making it difficult for even the most experienced hikers to navigate. Compasses and GPS devices often malfunction here, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Local legends say that the forest is haunted by yurei, vengeful spirits of those who died with deep hatred or sorrow. Many have reported hearing unnatural whispers and seeing shadowy figures darting between the trees. Some brave souls who ventured in alone never returned, leaving behind only cryptic notes or abandoned tents. Aokigahara is a place where even the bravest feel a deep sense of dread, knowing that the forest's silence is more than just a lack of sound. It's a presence watching from the shadows. Number 9. The Catacombs of Paris, France. Location: Paris, France. Beneath the lively streets of Paris lies a dark, twisted labyrinth known as the Catacombs. This underground ossuary holds the remains of over 6 million people, their bones stacked in macabre displays along the passageways. While the catacombs are a popular tourist destination, there are sections that are completely off-limits to the public, areas that are not on any map. Those who have wandered into these forbidden zones have been known to disappear without a trace, and some believe that the catacombs are more than just a burial site. They are a gateway to another world. Legends of paranormal activity abound in the deeper tunnels. Visitors report hearing disembodied voices, feeling icy hands brush against their skin, and even being chased by something unseen. The narrow, pitch-black tunnels can disorient even the most experienced explorers, making it easy to lose track of time and direction. The oppressive weight of millions of bones around you only amplifies the fear that something may be lurking just out of sight. Exploring the catacombs alone is a gamble, one that many have lost. Number 8. Hoia Baciu Forest, Romania. Location: Cluj-Napoca, Romania. Known as the Bermuda Triangle of Romania, Hoia Baciu Forest has a reputation for being one of the most haunted forests in the world. Those who enter report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they are being watched by an unseen force. What makes this forest particularly unnerving is its strange circular clearing in the middle, where no trees grow. Scientists have studied the soil and the environment, but they can't explain why nothing thrives in this eerie, barren spot. The forest is also a hotspot for paranormal activity. People have reported seeing ghostly apparitions, unexplained lights, and even UFOs hovering above the tree line. Some hikers claim to have lost time, emerging from the forest disoriented and with no memory of the past few hours. Others have been found wandering miles away from where they originally entered, unable to recall how they got there. Hoia Baciu is a place where reality seems to bend, and no one should venture in alone. Number 7. Poveglia Island, Italy. Location: Venetian Lagoon, Italy. Poveglia Island, just off the coast of Venice, is often referred to as the Island of No Return. With a grim history of being used as a quarantine station for plague victims and later as a mental asylum, it is no surprise that Poveglia is considered one of the most haunted places on Earth. Thousands of people died on this small island, and many believe that their restless spirits still linger, trapped in the decaying ruins. Visitors to the island have reported hearing screams and seeing ghostly figures wandering the grounds. Some say that the soil itself is cursed, as bones of the dead can still be found buried just below the surface. The island's dark energy is palpable, and locals refuse to set foot on Poveglia, believing it to be a place where the dead hold dominion over the living. Exploring the ruins alone is not just a test of bravery, it's tempting fate. Number 6. Helltown, Ohio, USA. Location Summit County, Ohio. Helltown, Ohio is shrouded in urban legend and mystery. In the 1970s, the US government forcibly evacuated the area, claiming it needed to create a national park. However, locals tell a different story, one filled with tales of satanic cults, mutant creatures, and paranormal activity. Abandoned houses, churches, and cemeteries now sit decaying, their once thriving communities left to rot. Some who venture into Helltown at night report strange lights in the woods, the sound of chanting, and even sightings of ghostly figures walking along the deserted roads. The most notorious location in Helltown is the end of the world, a steep road that drops off into a deadly ravine. Many believe this road was a hotspot for occult rituals, and those who wander down it alone may never make it back. Number 5, the Stanley Hotel, Colorado, USA. Location, Estes Park, Colorado. Famed for inspiring Stephen King's The Shining, the Stanley Hotel is said to be one of the most haunted hotels in America. Ghosts of past guests and employees are rumored to haunt its halls. Guests have reported hearing piano music in the dead of night, doors opening and closing on their own, and even the laughter of children in empty rooms. The hotel's most famous spectre is that of Elizabeth Wilson, a former head housekeeper who is said to still take care of the rooms on the 4th floor, long after her death. For those brave enough to stay alone, the hotel offers ghost tours, but beware, many have left the hotel shaken after experiencing unexplained phenomena firsthand. Some guests have even fled in the middle of the night, too terrified to stay another moment. Being alone in one of the Stanley's rooms can make you question whether the ghosts are just stories or something far more real. Number 4, the Island of Dolls, Mexico. Location, Xochimilco, Mexico. One of the most disturbing locations on this list is La Isla de las Muñecas, or the Island of Dolls. Located in the canals of Xochimilco, this small island is covered in hundreds of decaying, mutilated dolls hanging from trees, nailed to posts, and scattered across the ground. The island's caretaker, Don Julian Santana, started collecting the dolls to appease the spirit of a young girl who drowned nearby. He believed the dolls would protect him from the girl's ghost, but after his death, the island only became more sinister. Visitors to the island claim the dolls' eyes follow them, their heads turning on their own. Some report hearing whispered voices and even the sound of small footsteps trailing behind them. The island is isolated, and being there alone can feel like being surrounded by hundreds of watching eyes. The silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of the wind through the doll limbs, is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. Number 3. The overgrown ruins of Pripyat, Ukraine. The abandoned city of Pripyat, left to decay after the Chernobyl disaster in 1986, is one of the most unsettling places on Earth. Once a thriving city, Pripyat is now a ghost town where nature has reclaimed the land. The eerie silence of the deserted streets, crumbling buildings, and rusting amusement park rides gives the feeling that something is always watching. Radiation still lingers in the air, and while organised tours are permitted, going off the beaten path can be deadly, not only due to the invisible dangers of radiation, but also the structural instability of the decaying buildings. The sense of abandonment and desolation is overwhelming, and many visitors claim to feel a heavy presence in the air, as though the city itself is haunted by the lives lost during the disaster. Exploring Pripyat alone is not just risky. It's a step into a world where time has frozen in the midst of tragedy. Number 2. The Suicide Cliffs of Saipan. During World War II, the Battle of Saipan led to one of the most tragic events in the Pacific theater. As the American forces closed in on the island, hundreds of Japanese civilians and soldiers jumped to their deaths from the island's cliffs rather than be captured. Today, these cliffs are a place of somber reflection, but they are also said to be haunted by the spirits of those who died. Many visitors report hearing the cries of the fallen or seeing ghostly figures standing at the edge of the cliffs ready to jump again. The cliffs are treacherous, with steep drops and sharp rocks below, making them dangerous to explore. Those who visit alone often speak of an overwhelming sense of despair and sorrow, as if the land itself is mourning the lost souls. It's not just the height that makes these cliffs terrifying, it's the emotional weight that lingers in the air. Number 1. The Screaming Tunnel, Canada. The most terrifying place on our list is the Screaming Tunnel, a small, unassuming tunnel in the Niagara region of Canada. The legend behind the tunnel is enough to make your blood run cold. According to local folklore, a young girl was brutally murdered inside the tunnel, her screams echoing through the stone walls as she was set on fire. To this day, it's said that if you strike a match in the middle of the tunnel at night, you'll hear her chilling screams and feel the temperature drop suddenly. Many who have visited the tunnel at night alone have reported feeling an intense, overwhelming fear, as if they're being watched or followed. Some have heard whispers or cries, while others have seen flickering lights that quickly vanish. The tunnel's narrow, suffocating walls only add to the terror, making every step feel like a countdown to encountering something you never want to meet. These 10 places are not just scary, they're dangerous. Whether it's the dense, disorienting forest of Aokigahara, the ghostly ruins of Poveglia, or the chilling cries from the Screaming Tunnel, these locations hold more than just legends. They hold the potential for real danger. So if you ever plan to visit one of these places, make sure you bring a group, or better yet, avoid them altogether. Which place on our list did you find the scariest? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more thrilling content.